All right. So I guess this is part 2. So now I'm at this verse here, Matthew 11 verses 20, and I will read it. It's given this special heading with these interesting cross references that I maybe can look up. Genesis 19:12 to 14, Luke 10:13 to 15. Interesting. What does that say? Note to self to look that up. And then it goes on. Then began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. Now, my assumption is that this is Jesus Christ going in to upbraid these cities, but it's a little confusing because it's talking about John. And there's a few other things going on, like John's disciples coming to Jesus. Oh, where's that? Well, anyway. So I assume that this is Jesus. But I'd like to just recap, just for clarity. And it gets a little tricky to think this stuff through. So back to the top of chapter 11, and it came to pass when Jesus had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and preach in their cities. So to me, this is kind of like the main point, the main thing that is happening here. Jesus Christ is going into the cities of the disciples to teach and preach. So the disciples go in first, and they preach, and they do their thing, and then Jesus comes. So that's kind of interesting. And then John hears of this, and John sends his disciples to Jesus, and Jesus has a reply to these disciples, basically saying all these miracles are happening, where the deaf are hearing, and people are getting their sight, and the poor is having the gospel preached to them. So anyway, and that, people shouldn't be offended by Jesus to make mention of him. And then John's disciples depart. And so Jesus is speaking to the multitudes concerning John. Now, does this go along with verse 1, where Jesus is in the cities of the disciples, where the disciples had initially been, and now Jesus is coming into these areas? Well, maybe it doesn't matter, but Jesus is speaking to a multitude and a crowd, and now he's on the subject of actually talking about John. And I could get it wrong, but it seems like he's chastising the people a little bit. I'm careful saying that. What did you go out into the eremos to see? A reed shaken in the wind? It's as if to say nothing is really going on there. What are you going out to look at? Why are you going into this new land? What's the point? And then it has this interesting next verse, like, did you go to see a man in soft raiment? And then this soft raiment is being compared to kings' houses. So I'm thinking this is like flesh and blood, and maybe the flesh and the blood is like a vessel, so to speak. And then, but what went ye out to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. That's something I'm supposed to look up as a cross-reference. According to this, note here, this is Jesus speaking of John. So, for this is he. Suppose this he is John. For this is John. Dare I say it? For this is John, of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, before thy face, which shall prepare the way before thee. So, to me, John is a little bit special. Maybe he's not just a disciple, he's John. But for this is he, John, of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare the way before thee. Okay. I wrestled with this one for a little while, but now I'm tending to think this is a compliment of John. I think what it's saying is like everybody in the kingdom of heaven is greater than John, but of those born of women, none has risen that is greater than John. And then strangely it's saying that since John came around, almost sounding to suggest that almost because of John's appearance, I won't go that far, but I can't figure that one out, that the kingdom of heaven is now suffering violence, and it's violently being taken by force. For all the prophets and law prophesied until John. And then it's like, is this Elias? Okay, so it almost seems like Jesus is chastising this group. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, He hath a devil. And then the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a gluttonous and winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners, but wisdom is justified of her children. Well, I think the Son of Man is Jesus Christ, but I'm never 100% sure. But I know that Jesus Christ did eat with publicans and sinners. Note to self to look that up. I remember that. Jesus is like sitting at a table. He's sitting with publicans and sinners, and then the disciples ask him what he's doing. And I think Jesus is saying, like, these people need me. Yeah, here's some references here. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. But I really don't want to get off topic. Well, my recapping turned into 4 or 5 minutes. Oh well. Once again, I think Matthew 11:20, this is Jesus speaking. Then began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm still thinking this is going along with the theme of Matthew 1:1. And it came to pass, when Jesus had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and preach in their cities. But then, maybe more specifically, Jesus didn't just go into all of the disciples' cities. Now we're talking about maybe John being one of the disciples, and now he's going in to the city John was in. I don't know if that's right. Because it says, then began Jesus, to upbraid the cities wherein most of his, that be John's, mighty works were done, because they repented not. My goodness, I might be getting this wrong. And then here's like a lot of chastisement. Oh, and if you listening are somehow watching this, don't trust me. I'm not an expert, and I could be even getting it wrong. This is just me making videos for my sake. So, yeah, be warned. Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Oh yeah, I better check the words for some of this stuff. I know I'm all over the place, eh? So the word upbraid means to find fault or scold. So I think this is Jesus, but I could be wrong. Began to upbraid the cities, polis, wherein most of his mighty works, whose mighty works, were done, because they repented not. Uai is woe. So it's like a curse unto thee, Chorazin, Uai unto thee, Bethsaida, Bethsaida. I understand Beth is a prefix. So now we are not talking Greek, we're talking Hebrew, and if Beth, aside from its letter, the meaning of it being a letter, is a house. So I don't know where Chorazin is, but Beth Zeta, well, I don't know. Could that be a Hebrew place name? So House of Saida, that's correct. So I'll start this again. So woe, curses unto you, Chorazin. Why unto you, Bethsaida? For if the mighty works, dynamis, which were done in you, had been done in Tyre, Tyros, and in Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth, sackos, and ashes, spodos. But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the day of judgment than for you. Judgment is krisis. I really shouldn't do this, but I was just trying to think of it. Kristit in Russian is baptized. Well, that's probably got nothing to do with judgment, which is krisis, which is a different language, Greek. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shalt be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. Capharnaum, which art exalted unto heaven, which is Uranos. Hell is Hades, or Hades. Well, I can try to read this with substituting the names. And thou, Capharnaum, which art exalted unto, I'll read this again. And unto thou, Capharnaum, which art exalted unto Uranos, shalt be brought down to Hades. For if thy mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodoma, it would have remained until this day. But I say unto you, that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. Day of judgment is Hemera Krisis. And then this starts a new section. Maybe I'll start a new video, but come to me, which is a footnote, whatever you call this, has a cross-reference, Luke 10:21 to 22. That's worth looking up. Well, maybe I lost track of how things were going, but it says, at that time Jesus answered and said. So who's speaking here? And who is he answering? Like, I get confused. Maybe I can understand this better later when I watch this. At that time Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Okay, O Father, Lord of heaven, I'll just read in my own accent, Pater Kyrios Uranos. So Kyrios looks like the word for Lord. And earth is gay. The wise is Sophos and Synatos. Unto babes is Nepios. So I may have learned something here. So Jesus is answering and thanking the Father, Lord of heaven. So Jesus is thanking Pater Kyrios of Uranos and Gay. Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son, but the Father knoweth any man the Father. I read that wrong, must have. I'm tired. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son, but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father, save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Interesting. Reveal is apocalypto. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Rest, which is interesting, entering into God's rest. I'd love to know if it's the same Greek word being used here, which is anapao. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. Yoke is zugos. Some interesting words, like there's rest again. Souls are psyche, although Strong's Texan is psuche. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Sorry, I shouldn't make jokes. Okay, well that ended the Matthew 11 chapter. Now, I just looked for something. What did I type? Bible quote which says all will be revealed. And I guess I was prompted to look that up because this word for reveal was like apocalyptikos, which kind of made me remember something I had read in the Bible when I was in the car the other day, which I have since researched for, and I found this. And it's actually Jesus Christ, I believe, kind of chastising. I'm going to start a new video. Hold on. Well, since I'm thinking about it, I'll just go with it. It's no longer Matthew 11, but I'll just go with it. In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, Beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. I won't speculate, but I'm just wondering if this is just a general statement of teachings given to the disciples or the multitude, or whether it's actually specific to the Pharisees. And this kind of goes along with verse 4, Pharisees, which is hypocritical. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body. Well, anyway, I don't know how much of what's contained here is specific to the Pharisees. This would be interesting. I think there's a lot of words that would be interesting to discover as far as the Greek words for some of what's written here. I won't go on. I think I'll end it here. So, if I ever get to it, here's something else to work on.